with Emmanuel being new, prospecting for the first time, we were talking about how sticking to the scripts is probably going to be his quickest way.
Oh,
and
100%.
Repeating it over and over and over again, even if it sounds weird and they all hang up on you, to start setting consistent appointments.
Yeah. So I agree 100%, Emmanuel. Here's what I would say. It's going to sound weird and unnatural because that is not the way you talk. That's just the truth of it. But what happens is when you say it 10,000 times, like you're going to, you can, number one, you can literally say it in your sleep. And then number two, it becomes the way that you talk. So that's just what happens. You say something enough and that's just how you say it. And you'll get experience with people telling you no and hanging up on you and giving you all kinds of excuses. You'll find out what those objections are and pay very close attention because, in my estimation, because the objections are like the same. There's maybe 10 of them. And ultimately there's 5 that you're going to get all the time, but maybe 10 total. Every once in a while you get something weird. But once you have a good return on those 10 objections or whatever they are, you'll just be a friggin' rock star on the phone. So I agree with Kent completely. Say the same thing over and over and over, and just be an absolute rock star at it. Own the script.
Yep. And it is, how true is that? You don't get anything new. Sellers aren't that.
No, it's the same thing. And you get, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're trying to figure out what their motivation is to sell so that you can press that button, right? That's what you want to know. You want to sell your house? No. Well, when you did want to sell it, what made you want to sell it? You know, you had it on the market before. What had you wanting to sell it at that time, right? So you're trying to figure out, why did you want to sell it to begin with? And that's when they'll start to be honest with you. Well, my wife and I were thinking about downsizing. The market's changed and we've decided to do X and all this, you know, just all that stuff. Right. So if you find out what their motivation is, or at least get a hint, you may not get an appointment with them because you may just simply not be able to overcome whatever their obstacle is. And that's okay. But what you do now have is a button to press when you call them back.
Find out the why.
Hey, Matt, Kent over at Summit Realty. How are you? Yeah, I did see that. Where had the home sold? Where were you folks moving to? Looking at a lot. So no real serious plans on selling that at this point in time. Okay. Hey, thanks, Matt. As terrible as this is, maybe you're this way, Matt. They can't give you a real good answer as to why they were selling.
You said they gave really good answers to why?
No, if they can't. Like, why were you selling, or where were you going once it sold? I don't really know. We were kind of just looking at a lot. To me, I just look at that and it's like, well, they hung up, but
well, if someone says, well, I don't know, we were just seeing what we could get, because I do have people tell me that, we're not interested in selling. We just wanted to see what we could get.
Yeah.
For the property. And then I guess my response to that is, well, if you were offered a contract today on your property, would you consider accepting it? Or if I brought you a contracted offer today, would you consider that offer? Well, sure. Okay. So you still have some desire to sell, correct?
Yeah, we do.
And then I would ask the question again. After I said that, I'd come back and say, well, when you had it on the market, what were your plans if you had sold it?
Yep.
Right.
And that's the best thing that you can find out, Emmanuel.
Yep.
The motivation, the why.
That's right. Because the whole thing comes back to motivation, right? Why were you doing what you did? And if you had sold it, what would you have done next? Well, we would have moved to California. Wonderful. Well, we help people move to California every day. That's what we do.
And then at that point, they may hang up on you, but you have the why. So when I when we're going through the list day 2, day 3, and calling them, because those are people we don't want to trash. Like I won't
Okay.
trash that guy. He hung up on me, said we're not selling. But every day I'm going to just try to pick more and more information. We're in the finding out information about people business.
Yep. That's true. Yeah. We are doing verbally what Google does behind the scenes.
Yep.
And when we're calling them, I can the prospecting. Are we calling